Hi there folks, and welcome to workout 16 of the 2K revisit plan, where I row my own workout plan, and you hear audio from me back in 2021, but you see video of me rowing along with it now. It all makes sense in a kind of quantum leapy kind of way. So I recorded workout 16 yesterday, but due to all the noise that was happening because I was outside because it was such a lovely day, I've had to kind of change this slightly. So this is why you've got me here right now doing an intro to when I'm actually rowing outside. So what's going to happen is basically it's going to be the same as always, except that the audio you're going to hear in the warm up and over the cool downs is going to be a voiceover of me with clean audio, so I can kind of talk to you then. But then it's going to be the usual audio from that 2021 workout. All right, so we're going to get directly into that 5-minute warm up to set ourselves up for today's workout, which is a 12, 10, 8-minute workout at 26 strokes a minute and at 2K plus 8 to 10. So it's a really high intensity workout today. I want to make sure that you're properly warmed up. So take that 5-minute warm up, and if you need to pause and extend it, then please do. Get your machine set up, set your drag factor, get ready on your seat, get your foot stretcher height ready for your however you want to set it, and then we're going to get into this 5-minute warm up. All right, so in 3, 2, 1.
All right then, here we go with the warm-up. I hope you're okay with this slightly changed design. Now, look at this for a lovely day out, eh? Blue sky, the sun's out. Yeah, it was really nice and warm. Anyway, right, so start your warm-up as I always suggest by just easing into this. Remember, we're talking warm-up here, okay? This isn't about hitting the ground running. If you're wanting to work hard, don't worry, this workout is going to make you work hard. So what I want you to do is, for at least the first kind of minute or so, just get your body moving. Think about your hips, that you're rocking forwards into the front and then backwards to the back, and then arms straight as you come into the front, and try to hold them straight as you're pushing those legs into the machine. You can see sometimes that I wiggle my fingers on the handle as I come forwards. It's kind of like I was about to say bad habit, but it's a habit I've got into almost as a way to really overemphasize that I have loose fingers, that I've got them hooked over the handle. Because if you can really just keep those arms elongated and fingers hooked over the handle, then you're going to be able to much better put that power from your feet up through your core, your posterior chain, through your shoulders, and then into the handle. And then once you've kind of got used to those nice straight arms at the front and you've been working on your hip rock and things, then that's when hopefully that connection timing between your feet pushing into the foot plates and your hands connecting to the flywheel will all come into place, and you'll feel that real acceleration of power as you push those feet into the foot plates. And so now that we're coming up to 2 minutes into this warm-up, you can look to try and kind of increase your intensity. Now, I do tend to still hold my stroke rate round about 20 strokes a minute, even when I'm trying to get the intensity up during a warm-up. I'd rather, for something like this anyway, just be starting to press progressively harder with my legs. It's not about working harder with a higher stroke rate. Like I say, we're about to get into that. But if you prefer and you want to take your stroke rate up a little bit higher than mine in order to kind of open up your lungs, let's say, then please do. I mean, I've said enough times that I find I need to stretch my lungs a little bit in order to be able to perform. But because today's workout is that kind of mid-level stroke rate, then I was able to just ease into it through that first 12-minute interval. And so that brings me on to talking, as you increase your intensity to get yourself ready, gets me into talking about what our main workout is today. And it's one that you can take lightly in terms of, you look at it and think, oh, it's 26 strokes a minute, 2K plus 8 to 10. That's going to be pretty easy, isn't it? And actually, the first 12 minutes of this workout can be quite easy. It's only 12 minutes at that lower intensity, slightly kind of mid-range stroke rate. But over the course of this workout, because you've got your 12 plus 10 plus 8, which is 30 minutes worth of rowing at that 2K plus 8 to 10, it really does start to dig in. And towards the end of the third interval, you'll probably find that you're getting close to your maximum heart rate, even though if you were to kind of give this intensity an RPE out of 10 when you first start in the first interval, you'd probably be looking at it at like 7, 8 out of 10. But as long as you pace this right and you're able to hold that kind of 2K plus 8 to 10, by the time you get to the end of this workout, it is going to start feeling like that 10 out of 10. But the start of that first interval, like I say, if you're not like fully warmed up, it's not a huge problem. As long as you've got your body moving and your heart rate's up and your breathing rate's up right now, then trust me, by the time you get going into that first interval, by about a minute to 2 minutes in, you're going to be nice and warm. Don't you worry about it. So as long as you've eased off your muscles and your bones and your joints and all that kind of stuff ready to get into some quite intense rowing, then you should be good to go. All right. So if you have been pushing the intensity through this warm-up, then I do recommend just back off for the next 20 seconds and let things settle down. Keep moving, put like pressure into the foot plates, but just back off that intensity. There is going to be around about a 1 minute break between finishing this warm-up and starting the main session, so that'll give you enough time to have a drink and just kind of like wiggle your backside and things. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this warm-up.
Okay then, so today's session is going to be 12 minutes, 10 minutes, 8 minutes with 3 minutes rest in between. Pace-wise, I want you to do this at 2K plus 8 to 10 and at 26 strokes per minute. It's nowhere near the rate you're going to be doing for your 2K time trial, but by keeping it down at 26 but pushing up the pace as 2K plus 8 to 10, it's going to really make you work hard. Now as such, I don't want you to go too fast and like sit on the 2K plus 8 and then have to back off right to 2K plus 14 or something because you've kind of been too eager and gone out too hard. So I want you to stay between this 2K plus 8 to 10 range and be sensible about it. Even if you have to start the first 12-minute interval at 2K plus 10 and then you go 2K plus 9 for the 10 minutes and then 2K plus 8 for the 8 minute, if that gives you the right workout, then that's absolutely fine, okay? I don't know what your capacity is. So this is why I've given you this range between 2K plus 8 and 10 so that you can make sure that this is a tough workout for you, but that you don't go tough, oh, I'm destroyed, and then have to slow right back down out with the pace guide, okay? So please be sensible about this. Remember, it's supposed to be tough. You're supposed to be hanging on by the end, okay? So, but you should still be able to manage it if you hang on and really put in that extra effort that you need to. Remember, this is a top tier workout. It's meant to be hard, okay? So, first interval, 26 strokes a minute, 2K plus 8 to 10. Follow me on the video for stroke rate, or on the podcast, you can just listen to the sound of my flywheel, and that will hopefully let you lock into the rhythm that we're rowing at, okay? So, in 3, 2, 1, let's go. 26 strokes a minute, 2K plus 8 to 10. So I'm probably just going to sit round about 2K plus 9, just to give myself that leeway up and down, so that when times like this, when I see 2K plus 8, I'm not panicking, but that also gives me a little bit of a option to back off a second and again not panic. But hopefully I'll hold that 2K plus 9. Now you may have noticed that I've moved my whoop strap up onto my bicep. So it's interesting to see what the post-row data is from this. I've not got it connected to the PM5 because I want to see my polar strap's heart rate rather than the whoop. That will be interesting. Right, don't worry, I'm going to talk technique in a second. I'm just giving you the first 2 minutes of this interval to just get yourself nice and smooth and used to the stroke rate.
Right. Hopefully you're nicely greased. Your gears are all spinning smoothly. Your body isn't feeling stiff or anything. So you can start to think a little bit about your technique. Where shall we start today? Well, let's talk about the arms. Don't think we ever really start talking technique, thinking about arms. So, the most important thing about your arms is that as you start your stroke here, you keep them nice and straight. You don't start pulling early at the front of the stroke. Leave your pull until here, the back of the stroke. And that way, you let the power get into the machine without you fighting against it. And also, you're able to put in a full pull of your arms at the back of the stroke. Okay, so we're past a third, 4 minutes gone. Well, 4:15, don't worry. There's not a problem with your monitor. Like I said, this first one should feel like a kind of 8 out of 10. You're having to put in some effort to continue at this pace, but it shouldn't feel insurmountable yet. So, nice straight arms as you drive, but in order to get nice straight arms, you should think about your recovery. So that's after you've pulled the handle in to your chest. I want you to send the handle straight back out at the same height that you pulled it in at, and at the same pace you pulled it in at. So it's a nice rhythm of in, out, in, out. And the point of really thinking about sending that handle away is that by the time you get the handle over your knees and they bend to let you slide up the rail, they should be nice and straight, ready for the start of the next stroke. So you're not thinking about sliding and then at the last minute going, oh, I'm supposed to have straight arms here. you're already there before you even start sliding down the rail towards the front of the machine. And you'll see some folks, when it comes to height, who will drop the handle low and scrape it almost down the legs. Now, that's very common for on the water rowers, because they're trying to get an oar in and out of the water. But unless you're perspiring quite a lot already, you shouldn't be surrounded by water. So you don't need to do that. So a straight line back and forth is all you need to do for the main stroke. Now, it must be said, there is a good technique tip to do that with a handle, like sending it low, scraping over your legs, because if your handle is going low, you can't do that thing where you bend your knees before the handle is past your knees. Something I'll cover in the next interval, but like I said, if you want to get the handle past your knees before you bend them to slide up the rail. But the danger of doing that low scrape handle return is it can completely destroy your posture, both on the recovery and the drive. 2 minutes to go. Hope you're holding on. Should be okay. I'm hoping this is still around 8 out of 10 for you. And truth be told, after session 2 of week 3 on the 2K Redux plan, if you're using this as session 4, then session 2 may have already zapped you this week. And it may be that you're feeling like you can't quite push this one harder than you are right now. And that's fine, as long as you really did hit session 2 hard enough for that to happen. Almost there. 30 seconds to go. Keep those arms going straight until the end of the stroke, when you pull in for a strong finish. Don't forget to finish strong. All right, 3, 2, 1. I have a very dry mouth after that one. Make sure and have a quick drink. And keep on rocking up and down the rail to keep those muscles moving a little bit. You can, again, if you want to, you can do some light rowing here, just to keep your muscles pumping, but I prefer just to rock up and down and not waste any of the energy that I'm going to need in the main intervals, which, to be honest, I'm going to need. So that one I finished up at 86% of my rowing maximum heart rate. Didn't actually spot the number on the monitor, I'm afraid, but I get the feeling the next one will be into the 90s. And again, the point of this workout is very similar to week 3, session 2, about getting to a point of hardship and needing to push through, needing to hold on to it. The difference is that the duration that you're having to do it for on this one, and how long the intensity lasts for. Because you're doing 12, 10, 8, that intensity lasts a lot longer than it did in session 2, which was just a bunch of, 3-minute rows. So that's what makes this one a top tier, even though you're going slightly slower than you were in session 2, because you're holding this intensity for longer. That's what kind of makes it top. And then that endurance at intensity is what you need when it comes to kind of like that middle 1,000 meters in a 2K, where you can kind of be a little bit lost and kind of going, oh, what's going on? This is tough. Last 500 meters of a 2K take care of itself because you're almost home. The first 500 take care of itself because you just started. It's that middle 1,000 that you can be in no man's land and a bit lost. Okay, interval 2 is coming up. It's 10 minutes at the same pace, starting in 10 seconds time, so get yourself comfortable. Maybe reseat your seat. Give a little wiggle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So back up to the same stroke rate, and then it's your choice what you want to do about pace. Remember, the first few strokes of an interval can be a little bit betraying, where you boost up and you think, whoa, this is amazing, I'm killing this, but then you get 30 seconds into it and it suddenly all gets a little bit tough. So be sensible, hold this between 2K plus 8 to 10 pace. I'm doing the same as I did last time. I'm looking to sit on 2K plus 9 so that I don't panic if I go 1 second faster or 1 second slower. So, last time round, all we really spoke about was the arms. But that's not where the powerhouse of your stroke comes in. The power really comes from your leg drive, okay? So that's why I was saying, don't bend your arms too early at the front. because at the front of the stroke here, the power you generate comes from your legs pushing into the machine. And with those straight arms, that push of power surges through your body and into the flywheel. And really, it's kind of like you're hanging off the handle as you do that leg drive. So you're really not thinking about your arms at all. They're just hanging on, fingers hooked over the handle, not in a big death grip. And the power from that leg push should flow through. Now, there's a chance that as you come sliding forwards, that your heels are coming off the foot plate. If that happens, then the most important thing to remember is as you start your leg drive, get those heels down onto the foot plate so that you drive with your whole foot. And it can help to think about pushing the machine away from you rather than thinking about pushing yourself back. If only because pushing yourself back can lead to that early pull on the handle. Whew. This one's definitely tougher than the last one. Halfway. Come on. It's meant to be tough. This physical fortitude and mental fortitude, it must be said, is important development of your entire, well, rowing self, really. You need to be physically strong and able to push and continue when the going gets tough, but also you need a strong mind in order to not give in when it starts to really feel like you have to hang on. That's not to say if you're injured or even feeling unwell that you ignore it and push through. That's wrong. But if all it is that it feels tough and that little voice in your head starts to question whether you can complete or not, that's the one that you need to ask politely to go sit down because you've got this. You know you can complete this. You just have to keep going. And even if you're starting to listen to that voice, just take 10 more strokes and see how you feel after them. If you don't feel any worse, then take another 10, and so on. And even if the worst happens and you give in to that voice, don't stop. Just back off 1 or 2 seconds until you recover. Maybe just take 10 strokes and then increase your pace again. And you'll hopefully find you've got second wind, ready to pick up the pace where you left off. And that way you'll have a real mental reward from the session, how you battled to overcome. Because seriously, in a 2K or even a 5K, or well, any time trial, if you're going at the right pace, there will be a moment when you need to battle to overcome. And you'll have it in you. That voice will only trigger at about 90%. You'll still have another 10% of lastability in you, enough to see the race through. Okay, 2 more strokes, 1 more. Sorry if that got a bit single tracked, but I felt both of my quads tighten up right in the middle. With about 4 minutes to go there, around about the time I was saying don't just push through injury, ironically enough. So I kind of had to almost zone in on a keep on it mantra for myself in order to stop myself stopping. So hopefully it helped you at the same time. Just kind of talking through that and the importance of just being confident in your own abilities, confident that you know you can get to the end, confident that that voice that's asking you if you're okay, you're confident that you are, and you can just say, yeah, I'm fine. You go sit down over there, I'll give you a shout when I need you. And then if it does get to a point where it gets too much, you can then call over that voice and go, yeah, let's back off 1 or 2 seconds. And then after like 10 strokes, you can then push back up again to your right pace. And like I say, being able to do that, backing off, but then returning to where you were before, is just as good mentally as pushing all the way through, because that strength of mind to be able to ease off and then come back into it again. In many ways, you need a stronger mind to be able to do that than you do to be able to hold the pace. Holding the pace is just dogged determination, but that picking up the pace again takes a real kind of pulling yourself up by your bootlaces. Make sure and have a drink. It's 1 minute to go of this rest. Yeah, I was right. I finished at 91% of my rowing max. So I'm definitely up in the anaerobic point when I finish these, which is great because that's what I want in terms of this feeding into any of my time trial goals of like a 2K or a 5K and stuff, is to be able to be up in that and to be able to push through when I'm at that intensity and not ease off. 30 seconds to go. Make sure you're strapped in, you're comfortable. Like I say, if you have to, just reseat your seat just to make sure that you're comfy. Your sit bones will be pressing on that same part of your glutes if you don't move. So if you just kind of give them a break by just wriggling, that can really help if you suffer from butt pain. 10 seconds to go. So get ready, pick up your handle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Back into the same stroke rate and pace as before. Now, like I said, if you've been having a walk in the park row so far, and you've been sitting on 2K plus 9 or 10, then feel free to take it up to 2K plus 8. And as being this is the last interval, if you want to go faster, you can. If you think you can hold faster than 2K plus 8 until the end, then I give you full permission to do it. As long as you don't have to back off because you've blown your energy system. Could well be that you just want to wait until 2 minutes to go and then, much like a 2K, start to increase the pace for 1 minute and then sprint home for the last minute. After all, this 8-minute interval will maybe be close to your 2K time, or at least close to how your 2K will feel. So even if your 2K time is 10 minutes, by the time you get to 2 minutes to go, it will feel much like the intensity of the last 500 meters. So if you want to treat those last 2 minutes like the last 500 meters of a 2K time trial, go ahead. I know I won't. Got to protect my quads. Don't know where that's come from, that pain. 5 minutes to go, 3 minutes gone on this one. So, back to technique. We've spoken about the leg drive and the importance of concentrating on your arms. What I haven't talked about is your back. And your posture. So, in its simplest form, your back rocks from a 1 o'clock forward lean to an 11 o'clock backward lean. And that is all you're doing in the stroke. At the front, leaning in to 1 o'clock, and then at the back, leaning back to 11 o'clock. But the transition between the two is important. For a start, when you begin the stroke, I want you to hold that forward lean until your legs are about halfway through the leg drive. And only then do you do the swing back to 11. So you're not swinging right from the start of the stroke and robbing yourself of power, because that swing of your back adds in a fair amount of power to the stroke. But then, once you've finished the stroke, as your handle gets pushed away from your body leans into that forward rock again, so that your arms are straight and your body rocked forwards as you recover. You're not rocking while you recover. Now, the important thing is that you're rocking over your hips. You're not bending from your upper or lower back. So at the front, up on your sit bones, hips tilted forwards. A powerful braced core and posture, ready to take the stroke power and send it into the machine. And then at that transition point, you just rock over your hips. So again, you're not collapsing at the back. You're rocking back with a braced core and good, powerful posture again. Ready to just rock, tilt over your hips to get into that forward lean. 20 seconds to go. Come on. We've got this. I've distracted you all the way to the end, I hope. 3 strokes. 2 strokes. Last stroke. 93% of my max. So for me, because I didn't push that because of my whatever happened to my quads, I held that at 93% of my max at the end. I could, fitness wise, probably have pushed a little bit harder, but I knew I was going to get injured if I did. So I maybe finished at 9 out of 10 there rather than the full 10 out of 10. But I'd be really interested to find out how you got on. So do make sure and leave a comment to this video or podcast and let me know whether you managed to push and how you finished pace-wise. I mean, I still held the 2K plus 9 all the way to the end there. Did you finish faster than 2K plus 9? Did you finish with a higher heart rate? Just let me know, because for me, that wasn't quite the result I was looking for because of leg injury, but hey, can't always be 100% at the time, so the sensible thing, it was to not push. Disappointing, but sensible. So, 2-minute cool down at 18 strokes a minute, and around about 2K plus 30 pace, okay? In 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh, oh, I could feel them just as I pressed out there. Don't know if it's, I've been cycling in the Zwift Racing League this week, so I don't know whether that specific part of my quads could be cycling muscles. And so as being I've done 2 heavy bike rides, I've also done week 3 session 2 this week, and then this week 3 session 4. Maybe it's evidence of why. The irony of me not listening to myself. This is why my plans cycled through bottom, mid, bottom, top, bottom, mid, bottom, mid, bottom, top, whatever. I always cycle in and out of a bottom before an intense one. Whereas, what did I do? Tuesday was max effort on the bike. Wednesday was session 2, which was close to max on the rower. Thursday was kind of a mid-tier bike. I had a rest day yesterday, I suppose. Did I? Yeah. And then today was this one, so who knows. Enough about me. So you're just chuntering away to myself. Because yes, I actually went through a Friday without making a video and without reminding everyone that Friday is Spag Ball Fridays in my house. I'm telling you about it today, but it's a Saturday. We're having spicy chorizo burgers tonight. And nobody cares about that. You just care about my spaghetti. Last stroke of the cool down for me. Oh, you can continue going, of course. Oh.
All right then, all done with the main workout, but I didn't do any stretching afterwards either, so I'm cheating again. And we're going to rewind back to March 10th, I think, for the RowAlong daily workout, where I got into a little bit of stretching at the end of that and talked, well, a lot, all right, because it is me after all. Quite how this video could end up being over an hour long for a 36-minute workout. Who knows? Anyway, right, so I hope you enjoyed that row. Get into this stretching and have a fantastic day ahead, all right? And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Right, let's move on to do some stretching while I carry on talking. So flick your toes back against the straps. Sit comfortably, slightly more forwards, but still comfortably so you're not hanging off the edge of the seat. Put your hands in the air and tilt your upper body forwards. And as long as your legs are down, you should get a really nice stretch into your hamstrings. So anyway, so I was... so really the point of this story is that this really kind of helped in terms of a concentrated training and really focusing on what I was doing. Everything else I was kind of making it up as I went along. I was kind of doing the Gen Fit Row Pro 30-minute rows at night. That was kind of the main sessions that I was doing. I was still doing them when I was part of Fitness Matters, but I was focusing more on the training plans that I was getting from Sam at this point because the guy knew what he was on about. Let's move on to glutes. One leg up on the rail, bring your other one up and over so that your heel is in the curve of your knee. Bring that raised knee across your body so you have a straight line between face, knee, foot, and monitor. Hold that knee in place and then rotate your upper body round and you should get a really nice stretch down into your glute. And really do think about posture, okay? So I made sure there to sit up as I did this rotate round, and the difference even from remembering how it felt yesterday when I did this, where I think I was a little bit sluggish, whereas today, because I'm sitting up, I'm getting a really nice stretch down here into my glute. And I've actually got, so this afternoon, or this morning, depending, once I get this video edited and uploaded, I've got, over the next 3 days, so I'm not filming any my row workouts over the next couple of days. Over the next 2 days, I'm just filming Aviron workouts, the big spaceship. If you didn't see the video I made of me rowing 2K on that, please go and watch. Rotate round the other side. I did upload 2 videos. There was like one with which is just the warm up and the 2K itself, like in silence. And then another one where I've done all my bells and whistles editing and and reviewing the machine. Which again, so it's really that video is the trigger for why I think I need to look at how I'm publishing content on the channel, because that kind of video previously would have got like, I don't know, like say by now, I made it on Friday, published on Saturday, and we're now on Tuesday. I'd expected to have got like kind of, certainly broken 1,000 views. It's barely broken 900. And I think this is just because YouTube isn't it doesn't know who to put my stuff in front of. Is it the fitness, just casual viewer? Is it the person looking for workouts? Is it someone looking for machine reviews? It doesn't know. So that's why I'm trying to tidy up the channel. Right, we've done glutes. Yep. Let's move up onto quads. And I've noticed that I keep on swinging my hand behind the monitor before I take the mask off. So I'm going to do today, without swinging my hand behind it, I'm going to go, let's bring the monitor bracket back. Book. There we go. I probably actually made the mistake there of my hand crossing across it, but anyway. So yeah, I paint this out just so that you can see the screen behind you. Right, so bring one knee up in front of you. I'm resting one hand on the monitor bracket here just because for stability. One knee up in front of you, grab onto your ankle and hold it and pull it back so that you put your heel against your backside. And then again, think about posture, nice and tall, and then you can hopefully get a nice stretch down into your quad. Yes, I'm filming RowAlong workouts over the next 3 days, so I've got a lot of rowing ahead. They're only 15-minute workouts. It's the Fit 15 series, I'm calling it, which is actually another reason why I want to tidy up the videos that I'm putting up here on YouTube, because I've got the Fit 10 series I did in December, but I've not given myself any space to be able to upload those videos to the channel because I'm just constantly putting up these 5K a day, 25x5 videos. So it's actually doing this, change legs, doing this has prevented me from variety, really. So my plan is that if there's a reason, like say I am, I don't know, say I'm talking about something really important, or I'm testing out a bit of kit, or maybe I'm doing this on a different machine or something, then I will still post these daily rows into the public channel. Maybe I'll do like one every couple of weeks, or even one a week. Will still end up going onto as a public video. But the rest of them, the ones in between, they're the ones I'm going to leave as unlisted, and you're going to find, if you want them, you're going to have to go to the playlist to find it. So what I recommend is go to the playlist and bookmark it, and that way you can keep on coming back. And then if you keep an eye on like Facebook and Instagram and things, I am going to post on there when I've published the video, so you'll know when I've done it. Right, let's move on to hip flexors next. I wasn't going to do these, and then I suddenly got down on my knee and went, oh, apparently I've doing my hip flexors. I've got all these weights in the way. So 90-degree angle on the front leg, 90-degree angle on the back leg. Good posture. So again, this is almost like you want to be that wooden board of your upper body, and then just tilt forwards. What you're doing is you're opening up that back leg and closing the front leg, but you're still keeping the angle of your upper body. Or like, I don't know whether I tilted at all there, but certainly tilting to the side. How could I be falling over here? Good grief. Anyway, so I know that really today's story, I'm just a really micro part because I'm just talking about leaving Free Spirits and joining Fitness Matters, but this matters. Okay, so this does make it spreads. There's a lot of stuff that then happened from me being within Fitness Matters, good and bad. So that's where I'll continue with the next part of the story, because I might as well. So I've just changed legs, podcast people. I keep saying this each time, almost like I'm being apologetic, but I'm not. I'm just kind of explaining myself as to why I'm taking my time over this. Hopefully, I know I've kind of fallen back into a format here of kind of front-loading intro chat of stuff, and then I end the chat with my story. But I'm kind of thinking that this is the right way to do it. It's not like I'm kind of starting off and it's always the same hits every time. It's not like watching Noel's House Party, there's a throwback, where it was like a formatted TV program that it was just, here's where the guy's at the door, here's where Mr. Blobby comes in, here's where, for all you people across the, who's Noel and who's Mr. Blobby? It's not like that. I'm not kind of saying, right, okay, first 3 minutes we talk technique, and then I talk about this, and then I talk about my dinner plans, and then it's not like that, but it's definitely a format in terms of, I'm getting to run about 13, 14 minutes into the row, and then I start to kind of get into the story, because I might as well just string it out 10 minutes at a time, a little bit of that, because if nothing else, if you have absolutely no interest in me
You only have to listen to it for 10 minutes. Put your hands together in front of your face, push them together, and then bring them down in front of your body so that your thumbs are in line with your sternum and your forearms are now parallel to the floor. If you're pushing your hands together, you should get a really nice stretch through your fingers and your wrists and your forearms here. How hard you push changes the stretch. How you point your fingers changes the stretch. So work out what you need to do for you. Again, this is a nice moment to sit up and think posture rather than slumping down. We're not like me. Okay, so sit up, just, yeah. And then let's move on to hands next. So shoulders next. Put one hand straight out in front of you. Turn it upside down to keep your arm straight. Bring it across your body. And use your other arm. Oh, my microphone's just gone into my throat. Sorry, this is all very bassy now. And then, yeah, pull that arm straight across your body. The posture thing's interesting where I think sometimes, for me anyway, when I try and, say I'm at a bar, right? Not that I go to bars, but, and I'm sitting at I'm at a bar stool. So I've gone to Wagamama, right? Wagamama has like high tables that you can sit at with stools. And so it's quite easy to kind of sit there slumped over the table and, or whatever. Let's change arms. Or you can sit up and hello, how is everyone sitting up? And it's like that teenage, I remember once Mum was saying to me, I can't remember what it was out, I think it was this Kevin Costner film or something, and Mum's like, would you like to go to the cinema with me? We can go and see it together. And I'm like, oh, I'm not going to go to the cinema with my mum. Oh, it's like the end of the world. If people saw me at the cinema, blah, blah, blah. Right? In that way that you just catastrophize as a teenager everything that can be. And I remember it's all about imagining how people see you, right? That nobody gives a poop most of the time. I mean, fair enough, teenagers can be mean. I've got two teenage girls and I know exactly what they're like, but nobody really cares. And so I remember winding on. I remember when I was playing squash, my coach at the time, because you play squash, the backhand, and he said, right, for stability, when you come in and you're playing the backhand, your right hand is just you're sitting there dead. For stability, do that. Put your other hand out, and that's going to help you be stable. And I remember playing and just kind of going, okay, everyone's going to be laughing at me if I'm doing this with the hand. Like, oh, what's John doing or whatever? Nobody cared. And actually, you watch the other players doing it, and they're all kind of doing this because it's part of the technique. But I felt like I say, it's just that idiot child thing. You think everybody's looking at you. It's like when you go to the gym, I think there's a case here where people are genuinely worried about what people see them, maybe if they're bigger and whatever, and they're like, oh, is everyone going to be looking at me at the gym? And trust me, if you are bigger and you go into a gym and people are looking at you, they're going to be 50% of them are, again, it's a swear word, right? Rhymes with bankers, who are just you're never going to change them because some people are just awful people, all right? We have to accept that. The other 50% are people who will look and go, wow, that's somebody who's doing something about where they're at. And they're the people that you want to kind of because they're the people who are going to empower you rather than try and, because these people, the bankers, they're trying to make themselves better by pulling, you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, where am I going with this? So the whole thing of you think that people are looking at you, whereas actually they're not. And so that's what this is all about, posture. I was just why am I here? So again, I'll turn to the side. So basically, you've got that opinion that you're just sitting and chatting away and going, hey, football and stuff and money and girls. Oh, yeah. And then if you were sitting at a table, kind of sitting up with a posture, you're like, oh God, everyone else is so coming and look at me. I look, nobody cares, right? So what I'm saying is that every time you get a chance, and this is a huge, long story to get to this one thing. Every time you get the chance, I want you to, instead of kind of sitting if you're at a meeting and you're like, yeah, Bill in accounts, whatever, and so, and you're fired. Instead of being like this, just sit up at the table and go, yeah, Bill in account. And actually, because you're now suddenly a bit more powerful, but people will be like, oh, what's happened to John? He's suddenly got all powerful and whatever. Poor Bill in accounts is now scared. Why does he keep on talking to me? So that's all I'm saying is set up. The only time I really want you to relax is when you are actually relaxing. So say you're sitting on the couch at home watching telly, and that's when you don't really want to be perched off the front of the seat because your poor wife or children or whatever can't see through your head to the TV because you're perched on the edge of the couch going, what are we watching today, family? So then you can sit at the back and eat your popcorn and whatever. Take your moments to relax. Not everything can be about it, but when you are sitting on a proper seat, or like say you're driving in a car, right? I don't want you sitting on the front of the seat. That's where you are, kind of, you want to be comfortable. But you get what I'm saying, all right? So there's an odd ending for today. So thank you very much for joining me for this one. I hope if you've got any questions about this playlist idea, well, actually, hopefully you'll have found this video in the playlist anyway, so it's a little bit, maybe I should have made this in yesterday's video, whatever. Yeah, anyway, if you've got any comments, questions, whatever about that kind of stuff, leave them below. I'm hoping that this is going to work. It may be flawed. I may just change my mind and everything goes back into Gen Pop again, but who knows? Yeah, listen, I'm trying to grow the channel, and I've been banging my head for 3 months now. I'm about to go back into my day job again, and really, I wouldn't say that the past 3 months has made any difference in terms of the views that I'm kind of getting in now. So I'm trying to just think, like, what do I do to try and help this when I'm now no longer able to spend as much time working on it? Because yeah, definitely, like I said, YouTube is a hard nut to crack, and I ain't cracked it over the past 3 months. So maybe try again next winter or the winter coming, but for the time being, it's going to have to go back to just me kind of managing it while I'm editing farming stuff. Anyway, so thank you very much for joining me for this one. Make sure, have something to eat, something to drink, have a shower, tell someone you love them, and I will see you in the next workout. Until then, please row well, be well. Bye-bye.